Yes, we are live.
You are live. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so the executive session has ended. We're back in the executive committee meeting. The time is now 9:37 a.m. on April 20th, 2022. Decisions that were made in the executive session in regards to the executive director's evaluation was the executive director's evaluation met expectations, will receive will be presented to receive a cost of living increase of $4,000 to the council. Now, at this time, I will need a motion.
I'll make the move. I'll make it.
Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Hayno,
I second it.
been seconded by Vice Chair Banks. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you for your time.
Did
Now-
you say 4,000?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we will move into the update on legislative agenda and council member participation.
Yeah, so the legislative bill tracker gets updated every Friday and is posted on our website so that everybody can see basically what is happening and how it's moving through session. The biggest things that are happening are on Monday, we were at the Capitol for HB1. And at that time, it was amended into HB1 for the additional $500,000 for Families Helping Families funding. So that got amended into the budget, which is positive. And so now we're going to keep advocating all the way through to make sure that it stays in the budget. Also on Monday, during HB1 discussions, a conditional amendment was made for cameras in special education classrooms. That conditional amendment went something like, in the event that the state continues to receive enhanced FMAP funding, and some general fund money is put back in the general fund for the state, then the first $8 million of that will go to funding cameras in the classroom. So it was a conditional amendment. So not exactly what we would have hoped for, but in the event that all of those things happen, then cameras would be funded and that would be a positive thing. On the other bills that we are tracking and really alerting LaCan on, we've got, cameras in the classroom is going well. It has made it through every committee that it has hit so far. And then, like I said, that funding piece was just put in.
Jill Hano has her hand up. Jill, you're recognized.
I'm sorry, Amy, how much do I have?
500,000. But that's on top of what they already had in the budget, which was about 507,000.
How many zeros is that? 6, 7 zeros.
It's 5.
Thank you. Can we end that out of the transcript, please?
Okay. Vice Chair Banks, you have your hand raised. You recognize.
Okay, so from my understanding, when it comes down to the cameras in the back classroom, right? They're saying that if some funds are put back into the general fund, and then only then are they able to release funds and put cameras into the classroom. Is that correct?
Right, so the bill for cameras will continue to read that if the district has the funding, they should install cameras. But what was amended into HB1 is basically a way to get them funded if these other conditions are met. So it's not a guarantee that that $8 million in funding will be there. But it is a possibility that it could be there, which is more than we had before. So,
Well, that's my question, because when we have all of these reports and all of these, reports from the different agencies, and it says that like they don't use all of the budget, that's like, oh, it goes back into the general fund. That's why I ask those kind of questions, because if it goes back into the general fund, then shouldn't these cameras already be funded? Because we had a lot that went back into the general fund last year.
well, right, but last year there wasn't anything in the budget bill to trigger taking that money and using it for cameras. And in the next fiscal year, there will be because of this amendment.
Okay.
Let's see. We also, on Monday, were at the Capitol for the post-secondary inclusive education program. That went really well, and it was approved out of committee. And then it's going to go, where will it go next, Brenton?
Senate floor today.
Oh, Senate floor today. Let's see. What am I missing?
Dental.
Dental.
The funding for dental is still included in the.
Right. So in case you didn't hear what Ebony was reminding me of, the funding for the dental coverage is still included in the Medicaid budget. So we still continue to advocate for it to stay in, but nobody has made any efforts to try to change that funding yet. So we're good on that bill as well. The other thing that I wanted to talk about was the DD Council participation in legislative action. So let me see if I can share my screen real quick. Okay. So basically what this is showing is, and we don't have names, but this column right here, C, is regions. So council members that are in these regions. RT is a roundtable. So if somebody from that region was at a roundtable, if they've participated in a legislative visit, if they have participated in any yellow shirt days, for the yellow is for home and community-based legislative advocacy items. The purple is for education. Green is home and community-based action, and then action alerts. And this other pink purple is for education action alerts. So as you can see, trying to make it big enough, but also show everything on the screen.
Is everybody able to see that by show of thumbs up? Okay.
Yeah.
So can I interject for this
Yeah.
one? So with that being said, the public health emergency has officially been lifted. So as the executive committee and, going into the council meeting tomorrow, it's time to encourage our council members, including the chair, to start back being active with these different opportunities to be advocates in the community. We are the face for the most part, for a lot of the disability community. So we want to go ahead and start back being active. I know that there are still those who have reservations, and there's no shade on anyone that does. But for those who are willing And you know, you're already chomping at the bit, and you have the fire. It's time for us to go ahead and get back out there. That way we can reclaim our territory, letting people know that we are present and we don't get dismissed when it comes down to those governmental and legislative issues that really need to be presented, especially when it comes down to those roundtables. And not only that, start back encouraging our state representatives and legislators and all of them to be a participant as well. But it's hard to ask for something if they don't see us at the table. That's the main thing. Vice Chair Banks, you recognize you have the floor.
Thanks, Chair, for recognizing me. So I know the only invitation or thing I knew about was the McCann, the yellow shirt thing. That's the only one that I knew about. I don't know about any of the rest of these. How do we get this information to us? Is it on the website and we have to just go look for ourselves, or what? Because that's the only thing that I remember seeing as far as, you know, coming to the Capitol. And I saw a buku emails about that. Bambi was very active with sending out that and getting that together and letting us know. Dr. Becker's. I saw all of that, but I didn't see anything from any one of those other committees. So I'm just asking, you know, when it's available, because like if you want us to participate in this kind of stuff, and which is I would love to, I gotta know in advance. I have businesses and I have other things, you know, people have other things that they're doing. So if we know in advance when all of this stuff is taking place, or at least where to go to look for it at. I mean, is it on our website?
Well, no doubt. Like I said, no, I'm just saying this is something we want to start by being proactive with. For the most part, these are going to be reflections of why we're still under public health emergency. You know, we've had hurricanes and things along those lines. I'm just saying, moving forward, these are things that we want to go ahead and start putting back on our radar. And those are some things I'm going to be asking of the council members tomorrow. This was no reflection on now. You know, it'll be when we look at 2023, how we did for 2022. But for the most part, we just want to do that. And another thing too, is we have to get with our LeCan leaders as well, because some of them are not quite as proactive in some regions as others, and they don't let people give the advance notice that's necessary. And I'll echo that tomorrow as well. But this is no reflection on anybody at this point. I'm just saying that now that the public health emergency has been lifted, you know, now it's time to just start becoming more visible and doing our due diligence to make sure that we can represent the DD Council in as many aspects as we can. But this is no reflection on anybody currently.
Okay, well, I just making a suggestion that can we just know when this stuff is, so that if we are available, we can come and represent, because I would love to come to this stuff, but I don't even know about it. I just know about the Monday one, but I know they kept changing it because I don't know why they changed it really and truly, but I know that it kept getting changed.
Nicole, are you getting emails from your LeCan leader? All right, we'll
say
check
that I
and make
am.
sure.
I don't think I
Make sure
am.
that you're on her list.
Okay.
Well, are you on the
Okay.
council's list as well? Because we push out alerts for every alert, every roundtable schedule. I mean, we send that out to our listserv as well.
And while you're doing that, point of order, we really got about 10 minutes left, so we're gonna kind of expedite. So Jill Hano, I see your hand, you recognize.
So y'all were talking about House Bill 1 in the cameras. So I was confused. Is camera funding gonna be part of HB1? Cause I thought we had a separate, I thought we had a separate camera bill.
So there is the cameras bill that's separate from HB1. But there was an amendment to HB1. It's conditional.
Okay.
It will provide for funding for cameras if those conditions are met. So they did get that into HB1, which is great if those conditions are met and they're able to fund the cameras.
And then Cause HB1 is so difficult for people to read. Is there a way like y'all could send us out a summary, like what specifically we're asking, and like just a specific like summary specific to HB1, like what we're gaining. Where's my Ebony?
That went out in an alert yesterday.
I was just gonna say that, hey, oh, wait. Hey, Jill, I'm here. I was just gonna say that action alert number 8 was sent out yesterday. So all of that information about what's included in HB1 and what's not included are what we're hoping to gain.
I think I did see that, but go on.
Yeah, so all of that information will be in the action alert that was sent out yesterday.
Perfect.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other comments in regards to the topic, because we're being expeditious of time, to the legislative agenda or the council member participation? Okay, thank you so much.
Have a busy day.
Exactly. Okay, so moving forward, the next item of agenda is the hybrid meeting protocols. I'm gonna take this one. The most I can say about this one are 3 words: please be patient. We are trying our best to make sense of being able to take advantage of the virtual and in person. And with anything, there's gonna be hiccups. We are definitely gonna be experiencing them. It was not really the desire of the DD Council to even have the meeting to be split like it is. We did try to campaign to keep everything virtual, but for at least the April meeting, but it was an impossibility due to the fact that the public health emergency was lifted and there were just stipulations placed upon us. For the most part, like I said, most I can say is just those 3 words: please be patient. Because everybody's working as best as they can to try to make this thing run as smoothly as possible. And your patience is muchly appreciated in the process. Ms. Bazile, I see your hand, you're recognized.
Just have a question. Are we no longer allowing the public in on the Zoom and they can only be on YouTube? And why is that, if that is the case?
Well,
You want me to say?
go ahead.
Okay, the public can watch on YouTube and they can also be here in person. When the public health emergency was lifted and we had to move back to in person, the easiest way to do it in the time frame that we had was to move everything back to as close to the way the meetings were held pre-COVID, which was that everybody had to be in person. But we polled council members and realized that it was unlikely we were going to reach a quorum if everybody had to be in person for this April meeting. So to be able to try to still have a meeting and get business conducted, because we are on a timeline with the plan, because it needs to be approved so we can move forward with that. This was the only way that we could offer an ADA accommodation to our council members so that we could make sure that we still had the participation that we needed to make a quorum and still get business conducted. But everything else we needed to try to keep as close to in-person protocols as possible. I saw a legal opinion on how best to do this or what we could do. Could we do it all virtually? But with the way that the Louisiana Open Meetings Law is written, there really is no virtual option. So our meeting is running a lot like Bessie meetings run, which is everybody is in person with the exception of the council members, if you kind of take that part of it out. But everyone must be in person. You can watch it as a public member. They live stream it on YouTube, so you can watch it. But the only way that you're able to participate and make public comment is if you're there in person. So we're kind of using both what the council did before and what other entities that have to follow public meeting law are doing, and trying our best to cobble it together just to make April happen. And then I think we'll probably have to reevaluate after this set of meetings and see what worked, what didn't. Can we keep going like this? Do we need to move to fully in person? Because it does not currently look like open meetings law is going to change anytime soon, which is unfortunate. But that's just the reality that we're in. So I'm trying to follow the law while allow as much flexibility for my council members as I can. But I do not want for us to be in a situation where anything that we do or decisions that the council makes could be subject to challenge because open meetings law wasn't followed.
There's a lot of troubleshooting going on in this one. And we've already discussed before this even started to take notes to see what our hiccups we've encountered, what that we're going to encounter during this model so we can reevaluate. So that way, hopefully the July session, I keep saying that,
Yeah.
meeting will move a lot smoother and we'll know what options and opportunities are available based upon this. Again, this was more of a scramble than anything. So again, those 3 words I'm asking, please be patient.
Right. So as you're in other committee meetings, or Kim, as you chair self-determination, if you would kind of take note of what works, what doesn't, and then we'll have to have a conversation after and figure out, does this virtual format even work for us?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And again, take notes, and I'll make a mention of that to the council members tomorrow, to take notes of what they saw. May or may not have worked. We're wrapping up. We almost have about 2 minutes left. Jill, I see your hand. Did you have anything?
Can you send us copies of what public opinions you got?
Oh, you're talking about from the
Oh,
Yeah.
legal, we talking about legal opinion, or are you talking about from what we walked
Yeah,
away from?
legal opinion.
Ms. Ville?
I mean, I can
If
forward it to the
not-
executive committee if they would like to see it.
Okay, she can forward it to you for you to review. Is there any other,
Okay.
do we have any other questions from any of the executive committee members? Is there any further business to discuss? Since there's no further business, if there's no objection, we'll adjourn the meeting. So all I need now is just a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it. Y'all have a great day. Looking forward to seeing you on some of the other committee meetings and see y'all tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.